members, thanks for tuning in today to my mother's Dying to Show You channel. Today's edition I'm taking over. We're gonna get started with some steak sandwiches, or as the Cubans like to say it, Pan Con Bistec. Our first step is to marinate our steaks, and we have some cut onions, some fresh garlic, mashed garlic, sea salt, pepper, and Worcestershire sauce. You could also add lemon juice, but we're not going to use the lemon juice. We're going to substitute that for the Worcestershire sauce. So yeah, we have our top cut Angus beef steaks. We're going to marinate them. These are what they call cañada in Spanish. First step is to start layering it steak, onion, steak, onion, steak, onion. So we're gonna start with the first layer of onions. Then we get our steaks. And we're gonna put some, start with the salt. Evenly coat both sides. Get that side, this side. Rub it in a little bit so that the salt gets evenly distributed in there. Do the pepper. Good amount of pepper. Pepper both sides. Put some fresh garlic, rub in the garlic. Garlic just needs to be on one side, it's not necessary to put it on both. Now we get our Worcestershire sauce. If you don't have fresh garlic, you could always put garlic powder. That'll work as well. But today we're using fresh garlic. Now we're going to get our second layer, onions. Get our second steak. We have 4 steaks total. So repeat the process. I've made up to 12 steaks all at once. 12, maybe 14 steaks all at once for my cousin George one time. We had a steak sandwich party. I remember that day. As long as you follow these steps, you will have the best steak sandwich out there. Homemade. Now this will go into the fridge for about, you can leave it there for about an hour or two. You could always leave it overnight if you really want it to soak up the flavor. You could also put them in a Ziploc bag and have them marinate inside the Ziploc bag. But for now we have this little pan because we're gonna cook them today. So this will go into the fridge for about a few hours, maybe 2 hours. It's 5. We'll leave it in for an hour. Okay, so the next step is to prepare the Cuban bread. We're going to give it a nice layer of mayonnaise on each bread. Start with mayonnaise. It's up to your personal preference, the amount that you would like to put on there. Size Cuban bread only has enough for 3 sandwiches. Even though we prepared 4 steaks, we're gonna make 3 steak sandwiches because I didn't get another bread. But the other steak we'll have as extra. Could have sworn these breads were a little bit larger. Maybe it's because of the pandemic. They don't want to waste so much the bread. And there. Now we're gonna get some Thousand Island dressing. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. This is like specialty sauce. Let's put it down here. Not everyone likes it done this way, but this is my homemade specialty. Some people won't even notice that it has sauce unless you put a lot, so I just put a little bit. That'll work. We have our freshly cut tomatoes and lettuce that we're going to add in after we drop in the steaks. Okay, now for the time for the masterpiece. Now it's time to cook our steaks. Fry them actually. We're going to fry them with vegetable oil. I forgot to mention at the grocery store, don't forget to tell them to pass them through the tenderizer machine, because that way you don't have to, when you go to take a bite out of the sandwich, you won't get a big clump of meat in your mouth. It'll actually stay tender. That's if the steak isn't already tender, but I always like to tell them, the butcher, to pass it through that machine, which actually opens a bunch of little holes into the meat. That way the steak is very tender, and when you take a bite out of the sandwich, you get a nice rip out of the meat. Okay, so we're going to start with our onions. Nicely marinated steaks. Once they cook fairly well on each side, I like to lay the steak on top of the onions, and that'll, in a way, slow the cooking down a little bit. Now prepare our sandwich. Plenty of onions. Last but not least, potato sticks. have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our homemade steak sandwich. All you gotta do now is cut it in half.